Hey everybody, this is your friend, ECW fan, and welcome to the latest summer movies and games haul. I decided to go ahead and do this because I've gotten these coming into spring, into summer. I picked up a number of cool games and movies I want to show off. And there's two cool movies that I think Eddie will like at the end of this first part here that I show. And I've picked up some good cheap movies from thrift stores mostly. Almost all these came from a thrift store except the last two. So I'm going to go ahead and show one of the first ones off that I got in the spring. And I told Eddie about it first when I first picked it up. And Chris used to own this, but he traded this in to our local shop, Cheap Thrills. So I was kind of happy to pick this one up because it's a triple feature. And the guy knocked the price down on it. It's the Batman triple feature animated. It has the three Batman and Robin movies, which is Son of Batman, Batman vs. Robin, and Batman Bad Blood. All three movies pretty much are about Damian Wayne. And it's pretty cool to have that in there. I mean, I have these in comic book form. I have Son of Batman and Batman vs. Robin in comic book form. So it's kind of cool to get these. And I didn't know this was Chris's movie until Eddie told me he had traded it in. So that's pretty cool. Now this was brand new, and I found this in a Salvation Army. I had bought a CD from the Salvation Army like so many weeks before this, and I went back in there and I found this movie. It was brand new, never been opened, and it was a couple bucks. And this was a great John Candy collection. It's Uncle Buck and the Great Outdoors. Two classic 80s movies. If you've never seen them, these are probably two of the best John Candy movies that's ever been made. His comedies, like I said, Uncle Buck and the Great Outdoors are quintessential 80s John Candy movies. Me and Eddie and us will always talk about the old 96er from the Great Outdoors. And it's classic John Candy. And I was glad to find this. I mean, it had never been opened. Somebody had just gave this away to the Salvation Army. It just shocks me that. In Cheap Thrills, I actually found this one. In Cheap Thrills, this was a nice one. And they had marked it down to $2. It was the first season of Fallen Skies, the Alien Invasion series from TNT back in the 2000s. Fallen Skies, they came out right around the same time The Walking Dead did. And unlike The Walking Dead, it didn't really catch that much acclaim. Like The Walking Dead became a phenom, Fallen Skies didn't. And I think it ran 3 or 4 seasons. The whole aliens thing just pretty much died out slowly. But Steven Spielberg was behind it, as you can tell. And Nola Wiley from ER. I'd seen like an episode or two. I just never got to sit down and watch the series. And finding the whole first season set for like $2 was like, hey, pick it up. Another one I found in there, and this one shocked me for $1.50. And this one is ahead of its time. This one was considered an early 90s classic sketch comedy show. It was way ahead of its time. It didn't last long. It is The Ben Stiller Show. It only lasted a season, but the sketches, the impact it led to, it created stars out of Ben Stiller. It made Andy Dick become a valuable player when he later would go on to news radio. Janeane Garofalo would get a job on SNL, which she didn't like. Judd Apatow would become a big-time director in movies. The impact this show had, impacted a lot of careers. And it only lasted a season because Fox really didn't know what they had. Fox didn't know how to handle this early Gen X type show. They didn't, and that's the case with a lot of Fox things. They don't know how to handle something. They don't know how to, when they got something, they just didn't know how to nurture it and keep it around. The same problem would hit Arrested Development a decade later. And Fox would let that show go after 3 seasons because he didn't know where to put it at and how to market it on their network. Now, Eddie's going to like these next two, and I picked up some movie that he always tells me, oh, you need to watch these movies, and I just don't know what the acclaim is. I mean, oh yeah, I picked up Phantasm, the 5-movie DVD collection. Yeah, Eddie was with me one day last year, and he said, dude, that's Phantasm's collection. You need to get that. Well, they had marked this one down, and it's amazing that this was actually in a bin still with an October 19, 2019 deal on it. But I found it, and I was like, they've got it marked down to about $12 and something. I'll pick that up. What the heck? And, Phantasm, Eddie and Chris loved the movie, and Eddie's bragged this movie up a lot. So I went ahead and picked it up. It's got all 5 movies. It's got the Ravager, the last movie with the tall man and all them on it. So it's kind of cool. Kind of cool set to have. And I guess I can see Eddie like, yes, you got that one. Now, another one I picked up, and it shocked me it took me this long. And I held off for a good while, because I always hold off on movies that's been years ago, but they had marked this one down. This one is 3 from Hell, the third sequel from, the House of 1,000 Corpses and the Devil's Rejects. I held off for so long. This is one that, with the Devil's Rejects, I was really reluctant to pick up. I love the Devil's Rejects. I've got the special DVD of it now, but I held off on this one. And I don't know if this is a good movie or not. I don't think Eddie spoiled it. But we'll go on to the games now. Let's get to the games. Okay, games-wise now, some of these came from sales at GameStop that they were doing. I got like a buy 2, get a third one free. And 4 for, I think, $5 a piece. Deal. But more or less, a lot of these came from there, except one or two came from a thrift shop, which I'll point out. Now, one of the first ones that came from a thrift shop was actually, and they didn't have the case, and I was lucky to find this case, and I had to tell, I told Daryl about it. It was Call of Duty for the PS Vita. I had to open this one up so you can get a look. Yeah, I had a spare blank case, a Vita case, and it come in handy. But I'm always getting Vita games. I always like to get a lot of Vita games for my collection. Like I said, I'm going to try to build it up. Now, as part of their 4 for 5, or 4 for, I think it was 4 for 20 sale they was having at one time, I picked up a bunch of titles, and one of them was Sniper 2 Ghost Warrior. I always heard these sniper games were pretty cool, so I picked it up. They're having that special sale. Picked that one up. And I liked how they put these in bags at times. Another one I picked up as part of that sale was Just Cause 2. I have Just Cause 3. I haven't got to play it yet. I mean, it's one of those games that I've got 2 and 3. I haven't got to play 3 yet. So I'm going to have to start the series at Just Cause 2 and see how good it is. And this was part of the sale. The Evil Within. This was kind of cool to pick up. This was the Evil Within, and it looks pretty cool for what it is. It's the first game in the series. I've always been meaning to pick this one up. I'd seen it in there, but it wasn't until now that I got to pick it on the sale. The last one I picked up as part of the sale was WWE 2K18. Oh yeah, some good old WWE. Seth Rollins. I'm not going to get WWE 2K20. That's one I'm going to hold off on ever getting if cheap. Because I heard, unless it's for like $2 or $3, I heard that game was very terrible with how it was done. So I've got from like 11 to 18, and I never did buy them new. Or like the football games. There's no need to buy them new. you can wait a couple years and get them and play them. I don't do online, so that doesn't really affect me. But the thing with these are I always wait so many years. Like this came out in 2017, right? Here it is 2020, so pick it up. Now, I got this one from a thrift store. And this wasn't their price, their final price. It come down on it a few dollars. And this was Sonic's The Ultimate Genesis Collection. I wanted to get this from another thrift store, but they didn't have it. And I was like, I better pick that up. It's only, one chance I'm going to get these Sonic games. I've already got 1 and 2 on Sega Genesis, as I showed in my pawn shop pickups, as I detailed. But I didn't have it on PS3, so I could really replay them and enjoy it. And I believe this has 4 or 5 of the Sonic games. So that's pretty cool. Now, as part of the buy 2 get a third one free, this was kind of cool to get. These were all used games, but one of the cool parts of the games is I picked up Indivisible. I have no clue what Indivisible is as an RPG, but I know 505 Games had made it, and they had done a couple games I actually like. So I went ahead and picked it up as an RPG, and that's one thing about me, I always look for RPGs to get, cheap RPGs. So we'll see how that one is. Another one I picked up, and I'd seen some reviews of this, I read the reviews, and this actually has 3 or 4 games put together from this series as an RPG. It's Hack GU Last Recode, and Bandai Namco actually has a couple of good RPGs out that I actually picked up too. So I went ahead and got it. Plus for the price, you're getting 3 or 4 games into one big massive release. That's kind of cool to get. And the last one I picked up as part of the free game, and this was a very cool RPG. I always heard good things about it. And even Daryl was telling me how good this game is. It's 4 discs, by the way. It's 4 discs as an RPG, and it came out on the Xbox 360. And I've heard good reviews about it. It is Lost Odyssey. This one is a game that spans 1,000 years, from what I heard. I haven't got to play it yet. It's probably one of the reasons I'll play the Xbox. I've got an Xbox 360. I just ain't sit down to play it. But this one is one that, man alive, this has got to be a freaking awesome game. And from what Daryl described, it is. So picking this one up, and they had it in a box, that, trying to get rid of it, and I was like, I better pick up Lost Odyssey. But that's my summer games and movie haul. Pretty nice to find at thrift stores and cheap GameStop sales. I do want to thank you for watching, and just keep on playing, folks.